Okay, in this video we're going to be checking out the new 2018 GT-Tyrant from Diatone. And the frame itself here kind of, looks like an alien style frame here. Individual arms, and they're sandwiched between the bottom plate and a sandwich plate here. And it looks like the bottom plate's on the bottom of the arms. So, in terms of the design of the frame, it's a nice frame, but it's a design we've seen before, so nothing too special there. The frame here, without the GoPro and the GoPro mount, without the battery, weighs 378 grams, and it's meant to be a top-mounted battery freestyle type of frame. 5mm thick arms, pretty thick arms, and this particular frame here is 220mm motor to motor, 166 millimeters side to side, and 140 millimeters front to back. So it comes out as kind of a H style frame, not a stretch deck, so kind of better for freestyle, I think. So the top plate and the bottom plate are both 2 millimeters thick, and the electronics in here, we got a Runcam Micro Sparrow 2. That's the same one that was on the GT Rabbit. We have a 40 amp 4-in-1 ESC BLE-S and burst up to 50 amps. And then we have the Fury F4 flight controller, that's the one with the OSD. And then in the back here we've got the TBS Unify, that's on a, I guess it's on a special board here with a buzzer and special capacitor for video filtering. And then there's actually a much larger capacitor there, 1000 microfarad, I think, 35 volt capacitor on the flight controller, as well as one more right there that's on the flight controller as well on the 5-volt rail. So yeah, no video noise. They've killed that problem. And the star of the show here is going to be the motors, and this here is a Diatone branded Sunny Sky Edge Racing 2308 1950 kV motor. And this particular model here is designed to run on 6S because it's a lower kV motor. I did fly it on 4S and 6S. Now, what's interesting, and it's a little confusing if you go to the Diatone website, this comes out as a 5-inch model. You can also fly this as a 6-inch model. So this motor is kind of versatile. I flew this motor here on the 5-inch prop on 4S and 6S. You can also fly this motor on a 6-inch frame on 4S. And so there's two different frame sizes. There's a actually I think there's three. It's a 530, a 540, and a 630, I believe. So I think two of them are going to be 5-inch sizes, and the other two are going to be, or the other one's going to be a 6-inch size. And I think the 6-inch comes with a low kV motor, obviously, for 6-inch on 4S. But the bigger 5-inch one, which I think this one is, you can run the higher kV 2306 motors on 4S on the 5-inch version, or you can run the bigger motor with a lower kV. So this is you can run the bigger 2308 at 1950 kV on 6S. So this is what this one is designed for, to run on 6S. But if you want to go a bigger prop, you'll have to get the other frame, which will do 6-inch props. This one actually doesn't do that. One other thing that they are introducing that's kind of new is the way that on all the Diatone models, they come as plug and place, and they come with a little connector here that you can just supposedly connect to a receiver, but the one that they were using before didn't connect to anything, so you would have to cut them off and then solder to your receiver. But the one that they included here is actually the same plug that goes on two different kinds of receivers, so I was a little confused. The way they soldered it on for me was for the FreeSky XSR receiver. However, I had an RXSR receiver, the smaller version of XSR, which has a slightly different pinout. Has the same plug and same number of pins, but the pinout's a little bit different in terms of where S-Bus comes out of. So they're going to be actually changing that. So the way mine came was actually wired up for the XSR receiver, but they're going to be changing that so that it'll actually plug right into an RXSR receiver. If you happen to get this model as a plug and play, the plug that will come directly soldered in here. You can just plug it right into an RXSR receiver, and everything will be working. S-Bus, including the SmartPort telemetry, will be wired up to the flight controller, and it will be also configured in the flight controller as well. So if you happen to get this model, and of course it's plug and play, if you are a FreeSky flyer, just get the RXSR receiver, and you just have to plug it in, bind it up, and then you'll be good to go. And you'll be good to go in terms of going out and flying. It'll be very quick. It already came with a PID tune on here. The PID tune that they put on here was for 6S, I'm pretty sure, because it flew great on 6S, very locked in. On 4S, a little bit on the loose side, which I kind of expected, but it still flew great. Obviously, the difference between 4S and 6S for this lower kV motor is quite a bit different, and so you'll see that in the two different flights. I'll show you some footage from a 4S flight and a 6S flight. You do get much longer flight times on the 4S flight. I think I was getting somewhere in the neighborhood of 5.5 to 6 minutes. Pretty decent flying. I'm not going to show you that whole flight because it's kind of boring. It's a small area. Obviously, on the 6S, you're going to need a high C-rated battery. And I was using China Hobby Line 1000 milliamp hour Mini Star 100C6S. So you're going to need something like at least 75C, because these are, even though they're lower kV at 1950, it's still pretty much on the higher side. So a lot of the 6S setups are doing 2306s and like the 1750 kV. So it's a bigger motor here, 2308, and a little bit higher kV. So basically, it's a monster motor. And on 6S, you're going to need a pretty decent 6S battery to take advantage of the power this thing is going to consume. It's actually pretty impressive how much power this particular motor in this setup generates, and you'll see that in the flight demo. Honestly, I don't have the skills to take advantage of that amount of power. It's quite a lot. Yeah, so if you're one of those power hungry, don't care about killing the battery type of people, this is the motor you want, because you're going to get probably more power than you're going to be able to handle. Trust me, it's a lot. So yeah, if you're one of those people, definitely you want to check out this particular model with this motor. This motor is pretty insane in terms of the amount of power you're going to be able to get out of it, but you're going to need a really good battery to take advantage of the power that this motor is going to be pulling. Now, a couple of things I think that they could improve upon or maybe add on is you'll notice that there's a little bit of jello in my footage here on 6S, because there's just so much power, and even I think the PIDs were okay. I didn't see any shaking in the FPV footage. There was a little bit of jello in the GoPro footage, because this mount here that I'm using isn't really that secure, and because of the extra torque of the motor, this thing will move around a little bit. And so what I would recommend to Diatone is actually coming up with a TPU mount that will screw down into the 4 posts here, so that it'll actually stay locked down onto the frame. This particular type of mount here isn't that secure, so if you have a really powerful motor like this one, it's going to cause jello because it's going to shake. So I would recommend them creating an STL file they can put up on Thingiverse, and some sort of a mount where you could slide the GoPro in or just strap it down somehow, and something that will be secured by these screws that go into the standoffs. I think that's going to be necessary to get jello-free footage off of this particular model with these motors. And then the other thing that I don't particularly like is I would rather have this whip antenna out the back here, or the SMA adapter out the back, and actually if they could change this to like something like a Foxtrot lollipop or some sort of circular polarized antenna, so there's some sort of 3D printed part back here that maybe can so you can secure the XT60 to, as well as your SMA adapter coming out at an angle. And then don't use these whip. I mean, yeah, these whip antennas are okay. I did get pretty, my FPV was fine. I didn't get that much breakups, but I think that a lot of freestyle pilots would prefer to fly with an SMA, or sorry, a circular polarized antenna. So I know they're just kind of throwing this in there because probably for cost, and getting like a lollipop is about $10 just for one of them. So that perhaps will add more cost to the thing. But yeah, if they're just doing that for that, then just don't put anything in there. I think they're just putting it in there just because they just have something. But I don't like the antenna here on this coming on this part of the frame. I would rather have it come out the back at an angle and have your antenna over here. So some sort of 3D printed part here for your SMA adapter, and also for your XT60. I think that at a minimum would be nice, and maybe something also for some forever tubes, so you can put your diversity antenna for your receiver, like an XM Plus or RXSR receiver. Have those antennas come out as well at an angle. Like there's several out there, I think, but I don't know what the exact distance of these standoffs are. So if they could provide something that's custom fit for this particular model, then yeah, that's something that I would suggest for this one. Okay, so that's all I got to say about this model for now. I'll have some more videos on this later. This is a really good flyer, and I think that if I have opportunities to fly this in bigger areas, I'm going to definitely do that and show you some footage of that. But this one is definitely for you guys that are power hungry and want absolute performance out of your Freestyle drone. I think you definitely are going to be happy if you get this one. Obviously, it's not perfect. There's a few things I think that they can improve on. But, Diatone, they're very good at taking customer feedback and feedback from reviewers and incorporating those suggestions into future revisions. So definitely keep an eye out on this one. I think this is one that you want to definitely take a look at if you're a Freestyle drone pilot. Anyways, I'll go show you some flight footage, 4S and 6S flights, and I'll talk to you guys in the next video. it.